how to start an Airbnb in Portugal and what it really earns. What if a property in Portugal could provide you with a good income and pay for that beautiful life that you've always dreamt of having here? When I moved to Portugal 8 years ago, I started an accommodation business, and I started with the holiday accommodation and then moved on to bed and breakfast. And both of those have provided me with a very good and regular income. But how difficult was it to start? How much does it cost to set up? What can you realistically earn? And is running an Airbnb in Portugal worth it or not? In today's video, I'm going to take you through my complete journey of setting up and running an Airbnb, Booking.com accommodation business. When I came here from the UK, I bought a traditional Portuguese farmhouse that had immediate opportunities for accommodation business, but it also had and has got the potential to grow that business into a beautiful little resort. When you're looking at property, you have to picture in your mind's eye what that accommodation is going to end up looking like, and is it going to be what the customer wants. So in my situation, I wanted top quality accommodation. I wanted the surroundings outside the property to be beautiful and peaceful and tranquil, so that when families came on holiday, they had a wonderful time here in central Portugal. However, the important thing is you don't necessarily need a big farmhouse and a swimming pool to get going. A property with a separate apartment, annex or little cottage would be brilliant. Even a spare bedroom will get you started, and that's the important bit, getting started, and everything starts from the beginning. I'm going to start with bed and breakfast, even though that was the second phase of my accommodation business, but it is the easiest to set up and run. Bed and breakfast, and that is exactly what it is, a bed and a breakfast. We'll come to the breakfast in a moment. You'll get guests coming along for 1, 2 and 3 nights. They are on their way somewhere, or they're returning from somewhere, and you are a stop on their journey. So what do they want? A nice comfortable bedroom, a decent bed, nice clean linen, wardrobe, chest of drawers that you can't see, and a lovely comfortable chair, leather chair that you can't see. I've also got, in this particular bedroom, French doors with a little balcony. But they need more than that. A TV for entertainment in the evening, a fridge to put cold drinks in, coffee and tea making facilities, and I also provide a microwave. Now, why do I do that? Because I get a lot of workmen, and once they finish their day's work, what they want to do is come back to the accommodation, dive in the shower, freshen up, and sometimes when they don't want to actually go out to a restaurant, they just pop into the Lidl's, get some microwave meals, cook up quickly, and that's their evening done with. They just want to then sit there, relax, have a few beers from the fridge. My B&B has got 3 bedrooms, 2 with double beds and 1 with 2 single beds. So I can't be putting fridges and TVs and microwaves in all of those. But I'm also lucky enough to have a lounge. So it's a very nice, big, spacious lounge with 2 sofas. Over here we've got a TV, and then over here we've got the dining area where it seats up to 6 people. And then there's a fridge over here, and then coffee and tea making facilities here. Again, this is a nice big spacious lounge. So if I've got 2 different sets of guests in, there's plenty of room for everybody. Breakfasts, you've got 2 choices. You can either do a cooked breakfast or you can do a continental breakfast. I go for the continental breakfast. I put on a very good one, and everybody is over the moon with what they get. In fact, they tell me it's extremely good, but I'm not happy or prepared to have 6 people here and I cook 6 different breakfasts for them. No thank you, that's too much work. B&B has a higher turnover of guests in comparison to the holiday accommodation, but that's what you're aiming for, that's what you want. You want new guests on a daily basis, but that's going to bring 2 areas of extra work. One of them is the cleaning. You're going to be cleaning on a daily basis or every time a guest leaves. But it's not like the apartment where it's a deep clean. Because you're cleaning regularly, you'll be on the ball with that, but you will be doing it more regularly than on holiday accommodation. Now the other thing is the bed linen and the towels. You will be doing a lot more ironing and obviously a lot more washing. Having a separate bathroom is absolutely valuable. Guests love their privacy, especially when it comes to the bathroom, but also throughout the whole accommodation that they're going to be using. You're going to need to provide heating in the winter and cooling in the summer. And one of the better ways of doing it is through AC units. It will go a long way to helping you get bookings, and you've got two choices: fixed unit and portable unit. So do I think B&B is worth it? Absolutely it's worth it. Don't hesitate to do it. If you can find space in your accommodation for it, go for it. So what does it take to set up a B&B? Well, that's as long as it's short and as fat as it's wide. So what I'm going to do here is look at one bedroom only. And that doesn't include lighting, like bedside rugs, things for the bathroom. But it does include the big bulk things like these. So I popped onto Amazon and got these items just to give you an idea. A double bed with understorage, double wardrobe with mirror, set of bedside tables, 27-inch TV, chest of drawers, kettle, Nespresso coffee machine, small fridge, one set of bed linen, and you're going to need more than that, set of bath towels, and you're also going to need more than that. And this is the total cost. Whoops! Shall we do that again? This is the total cost that you can read without having to stand on your head. So if you're setting up on a budget, €1,500 should get you a very desirable bedroom that will impress the pants of any guest. Okay, pants to one side. Before we get to how much dosh you're going to earn, here's a really good tip. This bedroom here was kitted out, all this furniture, free of charge. How did I do that? I went onto Facebook Marketplace and looked for listings where they were giving it away, and they do give it away. And I got all this lovely traditional Portuguese furniture free of charge. So I'm trying to make this bedroom into a traditional Portuguese bedroom. So now let's talk about how much you're going to earn. Okay, so I charge €70 for one person, one night. And if it's a couple, it's either 80 or 85. I'm really no good. I'm awful. I think it's 85, but let's say 80. So you're going to get €80 for a couple for one night. Breakfast, what does that cost? €5 each maximum. So you're going to end up with €70 per night. One bedroom, €70 profit per night. Doesn't sound a lot, does it? Hold on a minute. Let's do some calculations. Three nights a week will give you €210. Now let's see what a month is, 4 weeks. €840. That is what a Portuguese person earns per month for a hard week's work, a hard month's work. Now, shall we times that by 12? Dare we do that? I'm not going to do it on this. I've cheated, I've written it down. It's €10,080 for a year. That ain't bad, is it? That's good money. That is in Portugal, I promise you. So there you go. That's B&B for you. Would I recommend it? Damn right I would. It's money for old rope. I quite like doing it, and it's got a good income to it. Now we move on to the apartment, but we can't go in there today because I've got guests in there. They're leaving tomorrow. So tomorrow I will see you in the apartment, and we're going to find out whether they've left it nice and clean or they've left it in a mess. So here's the question. Have they left the apartment clean or not? Let's go and find out. One of the giveaway signs is how tidy it is. And I can see that already it's tidy. The lounge area has been left reasonably tidy. Okay, let's go and have a look at the bathroom. Yep, I can smell that it's been cleaned. And even the mirror's been done. Hello everybody! Right, let's have a look at the kitchen. Yeah, that's looking nice. Oh yeah, look at that. Left really clean. Now, the fridge. Yeah, look at that. Very nice. Yep, they've made the beds. Oh, look at that. The towels have been folded up. Yeah. I'm really pleased with how they've left it. And what does that mean for me? A lot less work. So the first thing I have to do is get all the linen off, get that washed, get the towels washed, and then start cleaning. Yeah, fantastic. Hey! A clean pool is as important as a clean apartment, and nobody knows this better than my beautiful Mona. And this robot helps me achieve that in record time. The cost of setting up holiday accommodation is as blue as it's black and as round as it's square. It depends on the size of the accommodation, how many bedrooms you've got. I've got 2 bedrooms, whether you've got a kitchen and or a bathroom already there. Do they need refurbishing? Does the place need completely redecorating? There's an awful lot of variance depending on how much it's going to cost you. But you're obviously going to need furniture for the lounge, a kitchen, definitely all your kitchen utensils, fridge, freezer, dishwasher, dining room, well, good dining room table and chairs, nicely decorated. And then obviously the bedroom, you're going to want all your bedroom furniture as well as a nice bed. Holiday accommodation brings in big bucks, but it's short-lived. It's only for the holiday season. And it also depends on what type of clientele you want to attract. I used to have people come for 2 and 3 and 4 nights, but that involves a lot of work each time you do a changeover. So I decided to aim down the road of families, get families in for longer periods. And the way to do that for me was to put in a play park. Now that really did pay dividends. So when mum and dad come, they know that the children have got multiple things to entertain them. It's all about thinking smarter. So now families come for way longer periods, 10 days, 12 days, some even 15 days. And they spend all their time here, and that means that in that period I've got less work to do. I get very short changeovers instead of a lot of quick changeovers. Whew. When it comes to kitting out an accommodation, it's very difficult to say what that's going to cost because it depends on how big that accommodation is and whether there's multiple units. But what I can say is that my apartment cost me in the region of €8,000 to completely kit it out and make it attractive and comfortable. So how much can you actually earn from holiday accommodation? Well, that again depends on where you are and the facilities that you're offering. But let me put it to you this way. I used to charge €140 per night in high season. Now I charge €190 a night. And I am now booked up more than I ever was before. And that's down to adding the play park. And the play park didn't cost a huge amount of money to set up, but it made a massive difference. Now the other thing that you can do is use that accommodation out of season for different types of things. I also do that. Now when it comes to setting up the platforms on the booking sites, good quality photographs is really, really important, as well as a true and accurate description. No BS. I get customers turn up here and go, whoa, this place is way better than what it shows in the photographs. So here's the secret People are not just paying for a bed, they're paying for an experience. So on the booking platforms, you have to portray that experience that you're offering. And then when they arrive, you have to meet that experience and a bit more. And I promise you, you'll get reviews just like mine, which equals to extremely happy customers and increased business. So what can I say? Is accommodation a good thing or not? You're damn right it is. Here's the real truth. It is money for old rope. It is a good earner. And guess what? I do all of this on my own. So if I can do it, you can do it. Now, if you're seriously thinking about starting up an accommodation business and you need some advice, help, support, my email is down below. Got any questions? Anything you want to know? Leave it in the comments below. And you know what? The next video is going to be a cracker. So I look forward to seeing you then.